this episode, I'm actually going to use some new stuff I've never used before, Deox-C. I've seen it knocking about and heard good things. Now, my tank isn't actually that rusty inside, there's a few bits and pieces, but I'm going to use this to clean it out first. As you know, this was a parts bike and the tank came with the bike as it was. It became my main project. I'm actually quite excited to get going with this. There's been quite a bit along the way. I found some interesting stuff in the engine. I know I keep saying that, but if you've never watched my videos before, you might be interested to go back and look at the playlist. Well, let's cut to the chase with the Deox-C. I'm really not going to worry about the cosmetics at this point. I'm possibly in the next month or so going to be able to get the bike out and have a ride up and down the road, see that the mechanics are okay. But what I do want to do is make sure that I've not got lots of rust inside the tank. Now, I've had a look before and I'm sure it's only got a little bit of surface rust on it. It's got rust on the outside and it's had some welding work done on it, and it looks like it, well, I was told it was been pressure tested, and there are a couple of points where it looks like it might have had little leaks where the welding was done, that they've been healed up, or sealed up, shall we say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our inspection camera from Teslong, link in description, and have a quick look inside to confirm it's not too bad. And then I'm going to use something I've never used before on a tank. Deox-C, Bilt Hamber. I've never used it. I've seen it recommended by a few people and I thought, well, I'll get some and give it a go. What I actually intend to do is, this is enough to make 20 litres, which I could make the 20 litres and put it in the tank. But because I don't think the tank's that bad, and I'm going to check that it's not, I'm going to make 5 litres or possibly 10, and over the course of a week or so, because I've got time for it, move it around within the tank and see how it does. Drain it off and then have a look again with the old inspection camera and see how it is. I'm expecting, if this does as good as they say, it should be a good result. Tank will still be scruffy outside, but I'll be able to put fuel in it, connect it to those carbs I've been cleaning and get out on it. Right, so let's have a look inside first. I can't find any bits that are really worrying, and to be honest I could probably throw fuel in it and rely on the fuel filter to not allow it to get through to the carbs. But I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to initially make a quarter of this with 5 litres of water, put it in, make sure the tank's not leaking at that point, and then I'll probably make another 5 litres and shove it in, and over the course of a few days I'll swish it around and then I'll have a look with this afterwards and see what kind of a difference it made, and hopefully at that point the tank will be okay to put onto the bike. It recommends that you use this warm if you can, so I've got 5 litres of warm water and this is enough for 20 litres, so I'm actually going to make it so that I put 250 grams of this into there, and I'm using gloves because when it's chemicals, if you've never used them before, you're better off being better safe than sorry. So let's get a quarter of a kilo, 250 grams into here. Now I don't know how this is going to pour, or even if it's going to pour. Oh, it does. mist. Let's have a quick look. It's about 150 grams so far. Right, that's definitely just under 250. Let's just put a tidgy bit more in. And that should be spot on. Swollen up a bit, so it's obviously got some kind of chemical reaction going on. Another bit of shaking. Now, here we go. Not very good at this, am I? Bloody hell. I can't say I was the best shot at this. However, hilariously, I'd left the fuel tap open as well. I think I better watch where this goes, just in case it corrodes all my paint as well. Not to worry. I'm going to see how it goes on with the 5, giving it a good shake first of all. To get an idea of what the rust remover's doing inside, I've got this reflector, which is similar kind of metal on the back of it. And what I'm going to do is some of the mix I've put in there, I'm going to put in here so that I can see what happens to it over the next day or so when I'm giving that a shake. So it's exactly the same mix, come from the same one, so I'll be able to have a look at that and show you how it goes on. Just to see how effective or not this stuff is, I put this in some, and it was quite red rusty, you may remember. And looking at it, you would say it wasn't rusty at all now. There is black on it, which I suspect is the what was rust has now turned into some kind of inert type of thing. It's not affected the plastic at all. It's actually gone from being something that looked like it was ready for the bin to something that the little bit of paint actually is quite usable. I'm quite pleased with that. And the stuff's reusable, so what I'm going to do is, as I get it out of the tank and as I use it from here, I'm hoping that I'll leave the crap behind and just keep the best stuff and reuse it a few times. When I looked at the instructions on this, it actually says 24 hours. So over the last day or so, and I was intending to leave it for about a week, but I think I will actually have a look at how it is today. I've been turning it over, leaving it on one side, leaving it on the other for a few, upside down for a few. It did leak from the cap, unfortunately. And as you've seen, when I did the reflector, it actually looks like it's doing quite a good job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain it, but I'm going to drain it through the stopcock into here. So the filter of the stopcock hopefully will just mean I get some really nice stuff so I can reuse it. Because apparently you can reuse this stuff again and again up until the time it looks too gungy to use. I'm going to have the stopcock off and clean it afterwards, so that should be okay. And once I give it a really good flush out, let it dry off, we'll have a look with the camera. Well, that took a little bit longer than I expected. One of the really unexpected things was how much of the fluid stays in the opposite side of the tank. I would say probably more than 2 litres, maybe 3 litres, which is worth knowing if you run out of fuel when you're riding round, but does seem a pretty poor way of having the tank. You think there might be some balance thing or something going on. Very odd. But anyway, I've got all that out to reuse. Big mistake. That doesn't look too promising. It washed out, and I found there is another little leak, so I'm going to have to attend to that. I think I'm going to see about the young gun putting a blob of weld on that, but I'm very interested to see what it looks like inside, so I'm going to get out the test-long camera and I'm going to have a quick look and see what it's done to the rust inside. I'll be honest, it does look good from this bit, but let's get the camera inside and we'll see how good it looks all together. It's definitely improved, but it didn't start off bad. I mean, there's some bits that still look, yeah, they've got a bit of rust on, they may get worse. Now what I would normally do is I'd actually put some paraffin or kerosene into here, swill it all around, and that'd chase the water out. But because I'm likely to weld, I don't want really a flammable or too flammable a liquid in. So I'm going to give it a thorough drying and I'll probably give it a spray of WD-40 around inside. I know WD-40 will burn, but hopefully I'll evaporate all out by the time I get to the welding. A bit disappointing that, but I am glad I didn't put a load of time into making the tank beautiful and find that it leaked. Or equally, that I just popped it on the bike, filled it full of petrol and wondered why it was on fire. But not to worry. Right, so get some welding done, get it dried out, bit of WD-40 while I'm waiting to do the work, and then we'll come back to it.
This fuel tank isn't fit for fuel.
I'm impressed with the Deox-C. It worked really well, and next time I do it for a tank, I think I would make enough to do the whole tank at one go. Anything that didn't quite get derusted, I think, is my fault for not having left it on that side for long enough. But as you can reuse it, the biggest problem is going to be storing it, I think. But I'm very, very pleased. Bit disappointed to find some leaks. And when we welded and we did a bit of grinding back, we did find that the metal around here is very, very thin. So there's a concern it'll leak again, and found an original leak and then found 3 or 4 more that actually the Deox-C had shown us and signposted where it was, because the rust had disappeared from around where the leaks were, which was quite interesting. I don't know whether I want to put a liner in this tank. I've not got a good impression of liners, but mostly that might be because I've always come to them after they've been left to rot for 10 years, so I'm always taking them out rather than putting them in. However, I have read on forums some people who've given, you know, thumbs up to using a liner, and it could well be that if it's a bike you're going to use, having a liner in it is a good idea. So what's your thoughts? What were your recommendations for a liner? I'm not 100% certain yet. I'm going to use the tank as it is, but when I come to do the cosmetics, I may put a liner in it. So, a bit disappointing I didn't get a ride in on this video, but it's coming very, very soon. Thanks very much for watching. I do hope, you know, if you haven't already, you subscribe and you're enjoying looking back on the playlist of this one and previous ones that we've done. Anyway, see you soon.